Welcome to Sam Outside. I'm Salmon. I'm outside. It's tree inspection time. That's right, it's that time of year. Normally my videos are about time spent in nature for physical, mental, and emotional health, but today it's a work day. So I'm about 2 hours, almost 200 kilometers northeast of where I live, and I'm out here visiting a beloved tree. Now, I've been visiting this tree for a long time. Today I'm visiting it professionally. That's the tree I'm talking about. That is an eastern white pine that's part of a zip line. So as an arborist, for insurance purposes, in order to operate the zip line at a residential summer camp, this tree needs to be inspected by the TSSA. That's right, the same people that regulate elevator safety. Anything that's got a cable and people moving along that cable, not of their own ability, which means there's mechanical device involved, like elevators. So the TSSA, when you go into an elevator, there's a TSSA stamp, it's been inspected, it's rated, blah, blah, blah. They govern zip lines here in Canada, in Ontario, because there are bodies moving along a length of cable, not under their own power. So not only is this tree in its operating systems, not the tree itself, but the engineering that it takes to operate safely. So the platform, the cable, all the equipment, all that stuff is inspected by the TSSA. My involvement is making sure that the tree itself, as a certified arborist, I'm invited to speak of the health and safety of this tree at the time of the inspection. So, of course, I take a step back, and now I've had to walk way far away from the tree. I just put away my tape, but I've had to walk this path, and I do that to look at the tree's overall height. And yes, I've climbed this tree. I've been right to the top, like holding on to like the actual top. And at that time, I had to rappel down, and I've got a quite lengthy arborist rope, and I had to stop midway and reset my anchor and rappel the rest of the way down. It's a tall tree. It's 35 meters tall, and I've been up to about, well, let's call it 33 meters. All right. So now the operating of the zip line takes place up there at that platform. And so participants have to climb this tree, and they do that with the installation of staples, which are not accessible from the ground when it's not in operation for safety purposes. But I've got to look, you can see the staples beginning up there behind me. I've got to look at the overall health of the tree to see if it's still accepting those staples. Now, part of what I do during the inspection is I have to measure this tree. Is it still growing? So I use a special tape measure that measures the DBH. DBH is diameter at breast height, so normally about 5 feet. So you can't use it for measuring anything else other than diameter. The math just wouldn't work out. But I do use, a yard tape for measuring not only the height of the tree, and for that I use what's called the stick trick. If you don't know, yeah, you can climb the tree and send a line down and measure it, or you can walk back using a stick that is the length from where your shoulder connection is, that little part there. And when I hold the stick and I take a measurement, so I'll walk back from the tree, holding it up straight like this, and I put the base of the tree where my hand is at the base of the stick, and I keep walking backward until the top of the stick, when being held straight out like this, 90 degrees, until the top of the stick matches the top of the tree. And as I walk back, it forms a triangle. And so when I know I'm at the far end, and using the triangle from the top of my stick to the eye, to the top of the stick to the top of the tree, I can then measure that distance along the ground. And in this case today, this tree is 35 meters. Now, I've been inspecting this tree for, at least a decade now, professionally, and I've been part of the training. Part of my career in camping and outdoor education, I did spend some time working for an organization that both installs, inspects, and trains, designs, all things in the challenge course industry, from low ropes to mid ropes and high ropes and zip lines like this. Amazing job. And I still keep in contact with those folks, and I still keep up to date with my credentials. And part of that today has nothing to do with me inspecting this tree. That's my other career as an arborist. So, but I'm still looking at it with a technical eye. I still have that skill set. So not only do I have to speak to the health and safety of the start of the zip line, but I've got to now travel down to the other side of this pond because in this case, the zip line participants do exit into the water. More about that later. But at the other end is the other end of the zip line is the other zip line anchor tree. So I'll have to go inspect that. That's a hemlock, and the anchor for that is a little bit lower. The tree is, not as magnificent as this eastern white pine, but I will speak to the health and safety of that tree, and I'll take a look at the cables, and not only that, but I'll have to comment on the path itself. That tree, again, I'll measure the diameter at breast height, the DBH. I'll measure the canopy and I'll measure the height, and I'll take a look at, as I did with this tree, its health. All right. How is the canopy developing, which is a great thing to do at this time of year because I'm looking for candles. I'm also going to be looking for signs of insect infestation. So I'll be looking for frass here on the ground. If there are any ants or any other boring insects, I will see that. I'm also going to walk around the base and make sure that it hasn't been shifted in any winds since the last time I saw it, or last time it was in use. If strong winds did disrupt this tree and it settled itself, I would see signs of root displacement here in and around it. So it doesn't take me that long, but it takes a very specific skill set to check all those things, a little bit of training, and it is something that I look forward to doing, right? Using my skills, but I'm not wearing spurs and a harness today doing a technical tree removal. And I'm not climbing to do any pruning. So I get to keep my feet on the ground as an arborist. It's not every day I get to do this, but when I do, I get to visit a beloved old specimen that I look forward to seeing a couple times a year. So that's how I'm spending my day today. Thanks for watching. A little bit different. Please go outside, enjoy nature, visit an old friend. I'll talk to you again soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.